Everyone. My name is Aiko, and I'm part of the Roadmap Consulting team. Thank you for joining us for today's GSA 360 GSA Done Right webinar. Throughout the session, we encourage everyone to drop your questions in our chat, and we'll do our best to address them thoroughly during the Q&A portion. So today's webinar will also be recorded and made available in our YouTube channel and other social media platforms. And as always, after the webinar, you're welcome to schedule your free consultation with our speaker. So speaking of, Michael Perch is the founder and owner of Roadmap Consulting. He is also a subject matter expert in the fields of federal and state public procurement. He's also a DC SPDC senior consultant and adjunct professor at George Mason University. He has a 10-year SCORE mentor in the DC chapter as well. Mike has over 30 years of experience in the federal government contracting, program management, training, and curriculum development. Since 2009, Mike has assisted over 300 firms in acquiring government-wide acquisition contracts and GSA MES contracts via Roadmap Consulting GSA's 360 service offerings. So these contract awards resulting from these contracts have resulted over 1 billion task order awards to RMC clients. So without further ado, I'm very privileged to introduce our owner and marketing director and speaker for today, Michael Perch. Mike?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Aiko, for the introduction, and to everyone who's attending the webinar, welcome. We hope to, in the next 15 minutes or so, give you some good information on a few things, most notably give you an idea as to what the GSA multiple award schedule is all about and why you may want to have your firm, if not on the schedule, to acquire the schedule. And also give you an idea as to how we could assist you in that regard. The process of getting on schedule is a bit complex. And so, as Aiko mentioned, we've helped a number of firms in our 17-year history to get onto the schedule, and not just get onto the schedule, but get onto the schedule with strategy in mind, properly designed and engineered schedule as far as the special item numbers and the products, services, and solutions is what we do. That's how we add value, is that we assist you in terms of putting on the proper mix of special item numbers, product, services, and solutions. And we also help you to acquire those schedule items at a very, very profitable rate, because we have experience in terms of how to effectively negotiate with GSA. So all that will be covered in the presentation. So two things we're going to accomplish. The first is tell you a little bit about the schedule itself, the changes that have taken place in the last year or so that makes it more attractive to companies to get onto the schedule, and then also kind of walk you through our procedure and our process of getting you on. Okay. The presentation agenda is what you see there. I'm not going to go through each one of them, but we're going to cover all these items and make sure that you have a good understanding. The whole purpose of this webinar, by the way, is to encourage you to meet with us in a 15-minute free consultation so we can better understand your business, your goals and objectives, and then we can give you our proposal on how we might be able to help you, essentially. Okay. As we go through the webinar, there are going to be some questions, some poll questions that will pop up. If you guys could please answer these questions, it would help us to better design our webinars going forward. And so we're going to start with the first one. If we agree to work together to meet your objectives, what would be your time frame in engaging us? So if you could, well, is that the first one? No, I guess the first one was, do you have a GSA scheduled contract? So yeah, if you could respond to that, that would be great. Okay. A little bit about Roadmap Consulting. As Aiko mentioned, we've been around for 17 years. We are a federal procurement management consulting and advisory firm. We also do training. We are ourselves a GSA schedule holder, and we provide management consulting services and professional training and program and project management, as well as acquisition support services to federal agencies. Since our origination in 2009, we've helped over 300 firms to acquire their GSA schedules, and we also help with managing those schedules through our contract administration and compliance service, as well as marketing um, the GSA schedule, as well as the firm's capabilities to agencies and helping them to capture contract awards. So we also have a service that helps with that. So together, those three services, comprehensive proposal support, as well as contract administration and compliance, as well as marketing and capture management, comprises our GSA 360 full coverage type support. We are an ISO certified company, which simply means that we pride ourselves on quality service delivery. And if you were to engage us, I'm sure you would see that we dot our I's and cross our T's, and we sweat the details so that you don't have to. You get the ultimate benefit of our experience and our knowledge base, our collective knowledge base of all the consultants we have working within our company to help you acquire your schedule, manage your schedule, and market your schedule most effectively. Uh, the bottom line of our firm is that we help you to implement what we call strategic objectives or strategic initiatives to help you to improve your overall business practices and, most importantly, to improve your bottom line in terms of revenue generation and profitability. A little bit on the GSA Mass. Most of you who are attending this call probably already know this, but just to go over it very quickly, the GSA Mass is the most widely used and most um, notable of all GSA scheduled contracts, as well as contract vehicles, period. It has been around the longest since 1994, and it is the most widely used. It is most familiar to GSA contracting officers, the ones that actually make the awards. So you'll find that most of the companies that do business by a wide margin, probably 90% of the companies that do business um, with the federal government are on the GSA mass schedule. That total number of companies is about 15,000, which represents less than 10% of all companies that do business with the government. So what that essentially means is that the cream of the crop or the better companies, the most widely used companies, are on the schedule. And so therefore, again, compelling reason for any small business, medium-sized business, or even large business to get onto the schedule. The majority of the companies that are on schedule, 55% of all mass contractors, capturing more than 1/3 of the annual GSA sales. So what that also means is that the GSA mass schedule is accountable for a large percentage of the annual work that is awarded by federal contracting agencies. Very important thing to note. The approval process consists of us preparing a technical, administrative, and pricing proposal in response to the most current solicitation that's put out there. And of course, again, we do that for you after getting the information we need from you, which we'll talk a little bit about later. And we do so in a very strategic fashion to make sure you're getting the most out of your proposal submission. The length of time it usually takes to get on schedule is about 3 to 6 months. Our world record for getting a company on schedule is 42 days, and those were unusual circumstances that we were able to get that company onto the schedule, but it took us less than 60 days to do it. If you have a compelling reason to get on schedule, such as a pending award from an agency, we can certainly try to expedite your submission to get you on schedule quicker than that typical 3 to 6 month process. More about the GSA schedule program itself. The GSA Mass program is the federal government's largest commercial acquisition vehicle, covering over 300 SINs and generating over $50 billion in revenue, which equates to somewhere between 8 and 10% of the total amount of business that's being done by the government on an annual basis. So again, all these compelling reasons why to get on schedule. For any small business looking to kind of get their feet wet in the federal market, it is the fastest and easiest way to introduce their products and services to the federal market. We usually call of all the contract vehicles out there. The GSA Mass contract is looked at as kind of like the gateway contract. It kind of leads to other GSA and non-GSA contract vehicles that you can avail yourself to. So it's a good first step to take if you're into the federal market for the first time. Schedule holders are able to sell their products and services to all federal agencies, military and civilian, at pre-negotiated discounts, delivery times, warranties, and terms. It significantly streamlines the buying process, especially when we look at opportunities that are under the acquisition threshold of $350,000. We've had several wins on the part of our clients and even our company ourselves, where we've gotten wins under that threshold of $350,000 by essentially contracting officers finding what they need on our client's GSA schedule and getting a quote and making the award even without a whole lot of competition or no competition at all. So another good reason to get onto the schedule. Finally, in March of last year, Executive Order 14240, entitled Eliminating Waste and Saving Taxpayer Dollars by Consolidating Procurement, has increased the focus of the GSA Mass because now the current administration is looking at moving a lot of individual contract vehicles that were housed by the individual agencies in the past, looking at migrating all those under the GSA heading. So another good reason to get onto the schedule is because GSA is becoming more of a focal point in terms of contracting activity on the part of the current administration. Our GSA 360 service is a custom design service that we've developed that aids companies in getting onto the schedule most efficiently. We provide effective project management tools, custom design software platforms, instructive templates, and such to make it easy for your company to work with us in a collaborative fashion to get you on schedule most efficiently and again, most profitably as we go through the entire proposal process, which leads to negotiations with GSA and then eventual contract award. Three top SINs that are on the GSA Mass, and by the way, SINs standing for special item numbers, which equate to a firm's NICS codes, which is a part of your SAM profile. And when we go through the process of identifying the actual special item numbers that your company would qualify for, we take a look at your existing SAM profile and your past performance work you've actually performed in order to recommend to you the individual SINs that would go onto your schedule. We also do a deep dive into the individual SINs to find out exactly how much business is being done on the part of GSA for the most recent fiscal year, which would be 2025, period ending September 30th of last year. So just to give you an idea, for the professional IT services SIN, which is 54151S, almost 5,000 awards were made under that SIN, totaling over close to $14 billion in contract awards spread among over 1,200 firms. So for anyone considering getting onto the schedule, again, I would advise you to schedule the 15-minute consultation with us. We could pull up information like this that you see in front of you here that gives you a good idea as to how much activity is happening under the SIN. Also, in addition to the quick facts that I mentioned there, we also list the top agencies that are buying under that particular SIN, which you see there on the bottom half of the right-hand side of the screen, as well as the number of the top 10 companies that are doing the most business under that SIN. Why is that important to you? Well, if you're a small company and you're looking to subcontract with some of the larger companies that are on schedule, this gives you a hit list of all the companies that are operating within your individual SIN, as well as maybe crosswalking that with the agencies that you're targeting, and maybe approaching those firms, those larger firms, to team with them on future opportunities as a small business or to get some subcontract work from them as well. So again, this kind of information our research department digs up and we can do that for your firm and give you an idea. We call this kind of like the business case for getting on schedule, right? Because if you see the number of awards that are being handed out, the dollar value, and the number of firms, and in some cases, a lot of our clients have found their competitors that are on schedule that are getting awards that they're not available to compete for because they're not on schedule. It does give you a very solid business case for getting onto the schedule. So now I'm going to go into our process. Can I tell you a little bit about how we work with firms to get them on schedule? We've divided up the process into 5 phases. First is the intake phase, where we will schedule a proposal kickoff meeting with you in terms of getting you onboarded onto our program. We will go over what we call our request for information letter, which is to outline exactly the information we need to get from you in order to synthesize that information and to put it into proposal pieces that would be submitted to GSA under the GSA e-offer platform. And that's what you see in phases 2 and 3. All the items that you see there are the information, or I should say the proposal pieces that we would um, put together on your behalf and submit to GSA. As you see there at the end of phase 3, we'd submit the offer. And then comes the waiting time for GSA to evaluate the proposal in phase 4 and to respond back with either a request for clarifications, letter, or rejection letter, which sounds a lot worse than it is more, they're both the same in terms of clarifications or rejection. But what we would do is then respond back in a very immediate fashion to the feedback from GSA, give them the actual cures, all of the exceptions they've identified. And then usually a couple of days, maybe a week or so after that, GSA would then request time for negotiations with us. We would then huddle with you to kind of talk about our negotiating strategies, what we're going to push back on GSA. And of course, we've gone through hundreds and hundreds of negotiations, so we have very good information on what to expect during negotiations, and we coach you in terms of how to negotiate the best contract award for you. So we go through that process. After that, the contract award is made, and then in phase 5, we go through essentially making your contract whole, getting you listed onto the GSA e-library platform, getting you registered for GSA e-buy, daily notices that you'll get from the agencies based upon your special item numbers that you have on your contract, all those things, getting you registered onto the vendor support center at GSA and all those kinds of things. So a 5 phase process that starts with the kickoff meeting, as I mentioned, the request for information letter, easy to understand language that we put in front of you and go over it with you during the kickoff meeting. And then we set you up on our OneHub platform, which is very similar to a SharePoint platform. Make it easy for you to download the information that we're requesting onto that platform, and also give you different templates to use in the process of providing that information. Give you some examples of successful submissions that we've done in the past, so you kind of have a very good understanding as to what information we need to obtain from you and how to provide us with that information. Internally, we have an internal what we call um, progress report checklist that goes through each one of the items that GSA is requesting. And we have a very strong quality assurance program based upon that for each one of the items. But we don't give you that. We do give you a weekly report on where things are in terms of your progress being made toward acquiring your GSA schedule. We go through each one of the items that we asked for in the request for information letter, and we identify that, and then we code it, we color code it based upon the completion. Orange meaning we haven't received it yet, yellow meaning we've gotten it. Does require additional information that we need to get from you. And then green means we have everything we need with that particular item, and there's no further action needed on your part. We go over this every week with you, making sure you're up to date on where things are. And then at the end, when everything is green, we're ready to submit your proposal. That's what you see down there in blue. And then we wait on GSA to evaluate it. In order to do all this, we have a turnkey solution, no hidden cost, fixed priced amount that we'll give you based upon the level of effort associated with the number of sins that you're looking to get on your schedule, as well as the number of labor categories or solutions or products or whatever it might be. Obviously, the level of effort needed for a company looking to put, a million product listings on their schedule would be different than a company looking to put three labor categories on their schedule. So, in order to give you a fixed price quote, we need to huddle with you during our consultation and present you with an actual fixed price quote. I will tell you that between now and the end of this month, we're running a special trying to promote companies to start the entire process of getting on schedule. Usually it takes, as we pointed out earlier, 3 to 6 months. And so if you are able to engage with us by the end of this month, chances are you'll have your schedule by the end of the fiscal year. Why is that important? Fiscal year for the government, which is September 30th. Why is that important? Well, as a lot of us know, a lot of activity, buying activity on the part of the government happens between July 1st and September 30th. So we have a special program that we run this time of the year for companies looking to take advantage of that by acquiring their schedule. So again, I urge you to reach out to us and let's get together and talk and hopefully start the process and take advantage of our special pricing between now and April 30th to start the process of getting you onto the schedule. We also wanted to mention too, contract administration and compliance. That's the services post-contract award. We help you to maintain your schedule by adhering to all the terms and conditions that GSA requires. We also help you in terms of modifying your schedule, in terms of adding additional services, solutions, or product post-award to your schedule. And we give you advice and consultation in terms of the best practices of managing your schedule, help you with marketing, help you with a lot of different things. So it's a service that we offer. We also give you a quarterly report each and every quarter that gives you an up-to-date activity of your schedule, all the things that have been done since your actual contract award. This is also very, very valuable because during the first 5 years, every 5 year period after that, you go through an audit on the part of GSA. We get you prepared for that from the very outset by recording all this information, keeping up to date on all the activity going on with your schedule, making sure that when the auditor does come in, he's going to see all this and see that you've been up to date and you'll be successfully able to pass the audit. We also have a marketing and capture management service that I mentioned before, which is a very attractive service. We have a very, very strong service offering in this regard to help you do three things, or we do three things for you. We identify opportunities that your firm qualifies for, both GSA and non-GSA opportunities at the federal, state, and local levels. We do a full sweep nationwide of all opportunities that your company would qualify for. And how do we know that you qualify for it? Well, we have a very extensive intake process consisting of an intake form that you'd fill out, which would give us good information on your firm's capabilities, your goals and objectives. And based upon that, we go out and scour the earth and find the opportunities. We present these opportunities to you on a weekly basis, and you give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down as to whether or not you want to pursue it. And if you do, then we start the proposal effort for you. So it's a turnkey solution, essentially, both in identifying, qualifying, and responding to RFPs, RFQs nationwide at the federal, state, and local levels. And we do this on a fixed price basis. It's a very attractive program. It's kind of like outsourcing your entire business development and proposal support capability that your firm would have. So again, encourage you to meet with us. Let's talk about it. Let's get your proposal, especially during this time of the year as we approach the end of the fiscal year. Very, very good service to have at your disposal to help you bring in some contract awards. So just to summarize, we've been doing this for a long time. We could assist your company in getting onto the schedule, maintaining your GSA contract through our CAC service, as well as marketing your firm under the GSA MAS program, as well as outside of that program. We have a 100% success rate with pre-qualified firms. We would want to pre-qualify your firm before engaging you, because obviously, we want to make sure that you're ready to move forward and get onto the schedule. Um, and we don't want to, obviously take your money without being able to help you. So we want to make sure and do that. So again, I would encourage you to, if you wanted to pursue any one of our three services, set up a consultation to discuss your requirements. And if you're looking to move forward, we get you an agreement for services over the DocuSign platform, and then immediately schedule a kickoff meeting to get going, and then update you each week after that kickoff meeting takes place with the progress that you're making in terms of getting onto the schedule. So that concludes this particular webinar. Next week, we have another webinar for those 8A companies that have dealt with some of the changes to the 8A program in the last year or so. Talk a little bit about how we could assist you in terms of moving some of your requirements that you've historically had under the 8A program, maybe over to the mass schedule. We've done that successfully with some firms. I'd like to share some secrets with you on time in terms of strategies and in terms of how to do that. And then on May 21st, we have our contract administration and compliance webinar, which talks more specifically about how we can help you to manage your schedule if you already have one. So that's it. Again, here's the link to getting onto our site to book a consultation. Feel free to do that, and we will look forward to discussing your particular goals and objectives and seeing how we can assist with you, hopefully very soon. So with that, I'll turn this back over to Aiko for you to close this out. And again, we look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much, Mike. Everyone, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. We're keeping an eye on them as they come in. And we've also added the link for the free consultation with Mike. If you look at the chat box, and also I've shared links to our website and our social media platforms as well, where you can check and follow us to stay in the loop on upcoming events. And of course, our next set of webinars as well for May, and helpful updates as well. So, Mike, we do have a few questions that were captured in the
Okay.
chat. First one is, what are the mandatory requirements for Mass Refresh 31?
Oh, that's a whole conversation.
Right.
Yeah, that has to do with the FCP migration, the migration from the current, or I should say the past, SIP platform over to the FCP platform. We did actually have a webinar that answers those questions that we did last week. So perhaps Aiko, you could send this person, I don't know if it's a gentleman or a lady, I can't see it, but you can forward to them the link to our YouTube um, webinar on this topic, and it goes very much in depth. It was covered by one of our senior contract consultants, contract managers, I should say, Alex. And yeah, and if you wanted to have us assist you with that, again, schedule a consultation. We could kind of walk you through the steps involved and give you a price quote if you want us to help you with that.
Thank you, Mike. Second question, with all the SINs moving to TDR in fiscal year 2026, what is GSA's enforcement posture for contractors who submit late or incomplete monthly sales reports?
Well, I think their enforcement posture is that if you're doing this and you're chronically late, and then you have your assessment done, which happens again within that 5 year period that your contract is active, then they're gonna flag you on that. And I've seen some companies, maybe not based upon the lateness of their submissions of what used to be their quarterly sales report, which is now under TDR, will be mandatory after this year is complete. Is a rollout that's happening. So with the notice that you received from GSA, you will have to start with the TDR reporting on a monthly basis. But I have seen some companies get kicked off a schedule because it's not only that particular item, it's other items that they're not adhering to the terms and conditions of their contract on. So Yeah, I would be I think you should be well advised to to stay within the reporting guidelines for TDR and other terms and conditions of your schedule because the auditor will come in and identify these issues to the contracting officer, and then the contracting officer may decide to take action based on that.
Thank you. And a follow-up on FCP migration. I know we have a webinar that we can also share to this client. What happens if I miss my migration or FCP migration deadline? Can I request an extension from GSA?
Fortunately, we haven't had to deal with the with the request for an extension. You're given 60 days, I believe. Is it Alex? Is it 60 or 90 days upon notification by your contracting officer to migrate over? And if you don't, I'm not sure what happens because every client that's come to us, we've been able to meet the deadline. So the answer to that question is I'm not sure. It can't be good. Let's put it that way. It can't be positive. Um, but um, but yeah, again, we haven't had to deal with that issue um, in the past. I guess that would be a good question for your contracting officer if they give extensions or something like that. Again, I'm not sure of, but um, but yeah, if you would like our help, certainly let us know. We can assist you with that.
And last two questions from Hussein Mike. A ballpark figure. I know we've asked people to schedule an appointment with us so we can quote them for the price. But ballpark, Mike, would you like to share how much do we charge? And do we have a program where we take a percentage of their awards versus upfront fixed price?
Let me answer the last question first. No, we don't take any sort of contingency fee based upon awards that you receive or anything like that. So no, we don't do that. It's all fixed price based upon the level of effort. And as I said, that level of effort, varies from client to client. I'll give you a range. A range is anywhere between 12,000 and 25,000, depending upon the client and the level of effort associated with the number of special item numbers, labor categories, services, solutions, whatever it might be that you're looking to place onto your schedule. So yeah, the range is between 12 and 25K, with most of the clients that we serve being in the 12 to 18K range in terms of getting onto the schedule. And
Thank you.
that's again a turnkey solution. Let me just add this. Turnkey solution, no hidden cost. And we also give you a 30-day free trial, very important to mention, 30-day free trial of our MCM service. So while you're getting on schedule, we're marketing your company, finding opportunities for you to bid on, and preparing those proposals for you. So very important added service that you get when you do engage with us for our comprehensive proposal support is to help us or help you to find opportunities, qualifying those opportunities, and respond to them for the first 30 days. After that, you would have to make a decision on whether or not you want to continue with that service. But at the onset of us engaging with you, you get that service at no additional cost.
Thank you, Mike. And thank you to all of your questions. I just reposted again the consultation link of Mike in the chat. Feel free to click it and lock in your one-on-one session. If you still have questions and want deeper insight, that's the best way to get personalized support. And before we wrap up, are there any final questions? I guess none. So in addition, I've also shared the links to our website and social media platforms. Check and follow us there to stay in the loop in upcoming events, webinars, and helpful updates. All right. That wraps things up for today. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time and engagement. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you again in our next webinar. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.